What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Zyko Show for the first time in a long time, featuring your co-host Michael, your other co-host Zach. Make sure you follow us on all the social media platforms. We're gonna have the podcast of this version up on iTunes, but other than that, we have Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. I already said Twitter. Twitter's the first one.
YouTube.
I guess YouTube. I already said TikTok. Maybe I did say Twitter. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I said
He always forgets Twitter.
I always forget something.
And Twitter's always the one he uses the most.
Yes.
So I don't know how you forget it.
Nah, yeah, neither do I. But, yeah. So we apologize for not having episodes in the last week. I know we said we'd have one by Monday, just like the whole moving process and everything like that. Like we were so tired, we were not able to get out an episode because we were doing stuff like moving till late Saturday, like late, probably like 8-9 o'clock Saturday. Yeah. We crashed and we were still tired on Sunday, and we're like, all right, we'll just get it up for Wednesday. And then with buying a bunch of new like furniture and moving,
we have a new camera coming in, guys.
We have a new table coming in.
Big update. Yeah, we should have a table coming in tomorrow. I have to call my mom about that. So, Mom, if you're watching this, give me a call if I haven't called you yet. But
your truck.
We're getting a $1,500 camera.
Yeah,
it's gonna be really nice. All the quality's gonna be a lot better. We're gonna get a green screen. We're gonna get the soundproofing. You can already tell the studio looks a lot nicer just by the wall. We don't have the Lil Wayne poster up yet. We don't have the Christmas tree up yet.
We haven't even finished decorating.
But
it's just been
with the new camera coming in, it's gonna look a lot nicer.
Yeah, so stay tuned for all the new production stuff. Like it's gonna be a lot. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Getting into our sports section, Zach's gonna introduce the first topic. What's up? What's going on?
So, as everyone knows, there's a big documentary that comes out every Sunday. There's 2 episodes that drop every day. Every Sunday. It's the second to last part of the series, so they dropped episodes 7 and 8. We're gonna go over basically every topic individually. We'll go over like the baseball topic. We'll talk about the tragic loss of his father. We'll talk about the questionable leadership that he had, and then we'll also talk about his comeback from baseball. So the first one I would like to talk about is just more kind of how you felt about the episode. The 2 episodes themselves, I think it was very eye-opening into what he was actually going through. Like you see how the death of his father actually really like changed his whole life. Like the reason he wanted to play baseball is because, well, not only because his father's passing, but because he was talking to his dad and was like, basketball's a lot. Like I think I'm gonna go play baseball. His dad wanted him to because baseball was his first love. So he went to go play baseball after his dad died, and then why he chose the number 45 instead of coming back to 23. I thought that was all super emotional. So I think it was really good to know the person that he was, and then you also obviously saw how he was.
See, I thought it was more interesting. Yeah, the best thing I liked about this was it really showed Jordan being a dick. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was a dick.
He was mean to his teammates.
But like it gave you a lot more clear of a reason as to why. Like everyone knew he was just competitive, blah blah blah. But a lot of the quotes from him talking about how I wasn't gonna let anyone not push themselves to my level until they get to my level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that. Like you could see why. I still think he was a dick. I still think he was a bully. I still think he took it too far, and that's why they liked the approach of Scottie Pippen better. But
I mean, the thing is with Jordan, like if he wouldn't have won as many championships as he did, and if he would have lost like 2 finals instead of not losing any, he would have been viewed the same way as like we view like losers of war. Like war is written by like the victor. Whoever wins the war is always seen as the good person, this and that, and then everybody else is painted as the bad guy. And if he wouldn't have won all those championships, if he would have lost a couple, if he had the same record as LeBron, he would not be viewed as the GOAT. They'd all be like, well, maybe if he had a LeBron mentality, maybe it'd be a little bit different. So
probably.
My thing is, I understand why he did the things that he did because of the way that he was. I wouldn't do the same thing. I would do a lot more of love, compassion, showing teammates that I care, giving them the ball.
And he did that a lot, apparently, when he went to baseball. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, like I feel like baseball's
it's not as much of a different kind of locker room.
It's not as much of an individual sport.
And you don't have that contact with the other team really throughout the game that you have in basketball. Like basketball, you're in their face.
Especially if you played the outfield. Like if you'd have played like first base, or if he was like the catcher.
Yeah, like they're beating you up, they're doing this and that. Like obviously, you're gonna have that mentality a lot more. But I thought it was interesting how he kind of, when he came back from baseball, he ramped it up because he had to push himself too. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, because if you think about it, like he did have to change his entire body. Like to be a baseball player, it's kind of like when they talk about being a golf player, you can't be that built to be a golf player.
I feel like the harder work he does, the harder work like MJ does, the harder he's going to push his team. Because if he's doing more work and his teammates not, even if he like just decides, oh, I'm going to stay in the gym all night tonight, I feel like the next day he comes into practice just pissed off at his team because they didn't. You know what I mean?
I think that really was emphasized when like he was shooting Space Jam, and when he was really shooting the film, and then he would invite all these other NBA players to come to the court to play with him.
Mm-hmm.
That way he could take notes on them and all that kind of stuff. Like that shows you how hard he worked. Like a lot of people like would just shoot the movie, go home, do a little bit of training, and that's it. Like Jordan was on a mission. Like he is probably the most dedicated person in basketball history. Like when it comes to pure dedication,
when it comes to like the sport,
I'll give him go of that. But personally, obviously, I know I feel the other way. But I understand why he did the things he did. I wouldn't have done it. Do I look at him differently because of it? No, not really. But I don't agree with him as much of a person.
Yeah.
Like I don't like him as much of a person as I used to. But it still shows me that he was one of the best basketball players of all time.
I probably like him more as a
I feel
person.
like as a person nowadays, he's still a good personality. He stepped away. Like
I don't think he was
he's
ever a
lot more
bad
than-
person.
Yeah.
I think it was just leadership quality, but I think he took it too far in a lot of instances.
Well, the people that he played with felt like he was a bad person. Not like a bad person. Like they said it was because
They respected the
They
sport,
understood
Michael
it.
Jordan, but the person, they were like, oh my god. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
like BJ Armstrong was like, dude, no. He was like, I respected the hell out of him as a player, but everything else, he's like, I don't really like him. But now they like with his
I think they all like him.
Now
I
they've
don't think they
reconnected.
liked him.
Now that they understand, like without Michael Jordan, they wouldn't have been where they were. Like I think they understand that a lot more.
Yeah.
But another big topic within that is the passing of his father. Obviously, if you don't know, a lot of people say it was a freak accident. I believe it was a freak accident. What happened was Michael Jordan's dad was just driving home, got really tired, fell asleep on the side of the road. Two people went up to rob him and killed him. There was a big controversy that came out.
Right?
Yeah. Well, some people think that they were just trying to rob him and then they just killed him.
Yeah.
But some people think that it's because of the whole gambling thing that he was in. A lot of people think that Michael Jordan caused his dad's death, which I think is awful. Like, there's never been any evidence to prove that. I think it's an awful thing to put on somebody. Like, I can understand why the similarities were drawn, and I can understand why people.
Well,
thought
if he was really trying to get all that money out of MJ or whatever, but like. That was all apparently paid back when his dad was still.
Yeah, so I think it was rough in the media for them to put that on Michael, but personally, like, I don't think he had anything to do with it. I don't think anything with his gambling caused his dad's death, and getting that thrown on you as a young man and doing all this other stuff with all your other leadership qualities coming out and all the gambling and stuff. Like, I understand why he left the game. I also understand why he came back because he had such a strong love for it. But like, I would have left too. Like, that would piss me off. I think it would make anybody want to quit something that you love. Like, if you're just getting scrutinized every single day in the entire world, I'd leave too. I don't blame him.
Yeah, absolutely. But I pretty much agree wholeheartedly with that. I think I wish he stayed. I just want to. I would love to see what he did during those 2 years. But even his dad, like, always wanted him to play basketball. That's the last conversation he had with his dad. Baseball. Last conversation he had with his dad before his dad died was literally about playing baseball. You know what I mean? And he was already planning to retire a year before that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I overall with The Last Dance, I think the way it's written is fantastic. I think ESPN's doing a great job.
I don't like the time jumps.
I don't
like all the
either.
constant time.
I don't like how it's like I understand like
also why are they
it's
why are
way
they
more
they
Michael
focus
Jordan. It's way too much Michael
Yeah,
Jordan.
it was like, oh, we're gonna do this about The Last Dance, and then 90% of The Last Dance is gonna be
and then if you
about
ask
Michael
it,
Jordan,
if you ask it,
stuff that has nothing to do with The Last Dance.
If you ask it Bayless that he didn't even know if Michael Jordan was going to be in the documentary. He came out and was like, I don't even know if he's going to be in the documentary. I was like, he might be in it, he might not be. He's literally in it 24/7. Like, they do still emphasize the 98 Bulls. But like, it's all about him. Like, he's the one that commissioned them doing it. He had final say on every single thing that they talked about.
Anyone else in there, for sure.
Yeah, so like, it's more of a Michael Jordan documentary, and like, I wish they would have just been honest about that, not saying, oh, it's the 98 Bulls. Like, I understand.
They could have just called it like Air Jordan.
I think what they should have done is they should have, like, in my personal opinion, what I think they should have done to set up the whole documentary is, if you're going to talk about the whole team, talk about every single year. So, like, in certain episodes, like, maybe, like, I understand, like, the first episode where they talked about his first couple years. Like, I understand that. And then maybe the second episode they talked about when Pippen came in, which they did. And then the third episode talked about when Rodman came in, and then did that. But then after that, talking about each year individually, that's what I would have done if you're going to make it solely about that team. But instead of that, they just threw everything about Jordan and then sprinkled in the team. But I still love it. I still
Well, they
think
didn't
it's a good
sprinkle in
documentary.
Rodman. They didn't sprinkle in Pippen.
Like they had their
gave
own,
them
they
four
had their,
basically
they
episodes.
had their own episodes. But
Yeah,
they
they're
still
like half
talked
of
about
each
Michael
episode.
Jordan. So my thing is like, I think they should have made it more about the team if they're gonna put it out the way that they said they were going to.
Yeah.
But I still like it, even though I just wish they would have been more honest about just like, hey, this is basically about Michael Jordan.
Mhm.
But yeah, so personally, that's my opinions on the documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the next topic that we're gonna get into, we're gonna talk about the NBA and them talking about maybe coming back soon. Apparently, Adam Silver literally texted people. Apparently, he texted like some of the biggest stars in the game, like LeBron, KD, I think Zion. There was a couple more. I think Kawhi was in there. He texted a bunch of different people and said, "Do you want the season to come back?" And
Texted people that like just keep in mind everyone that is in that list. We're talking about LeBron.
like the all
KD,
like,
I don't think they
no,
talked
KD
to.
was in there.
Probably,
But
but
the-
like he has no. What I'm saying is like he has no ties. He's not playing this year. You know what I mean?
Well, a lot of people were
Whoa, he
speculating
might
that he was
now.
coming
Wow.
back. Well, a lot of people were saying he was going to come back, but he came
But
out and said he
yeah.
wasn't.
But
'Cause I don't
either
blame
way, everyone he basically texted that's actually playing the game has something to prove in this season.
Yeah,
right?
John Moran said that he wanted to come back and play.
Well, yeah, because
like,
him and
he's gonna
Zion
win
are
rookie of the year.
battling for.
I think he's going to just because he played.
Zion's
the
had
whole
a
year.
much better year for.
I think just because he played the whole year. Like a lot of people were
That's
saying.
so
that just-
annoying.
A lot of people were
Zion's-
saying that just because Zion
Zion's so
didn't
much
play the
better
whole
than
year.
him. It's not even.
I still think Jaw's fantastic.
I still think he's good, but he's not better than Zion.
Well, I mean, I think it'll be.
Here's the
if
question:
Zion
like,
comes
he
back,
gets Rookie of the Year, but if you ask anyone at all in the entire
Well-
industry and you say, "Hey, is Zion better?" They all say yes.
Well, I mean, that kind of goes down to the Donovan Mitchell Ben Simmons debate because Ben Simmons sat the whole year.
Yeah.
But a lot of people didn't think that he should be rookie. Like that's the same kind of conversation.
Exactly, and it's stupid. We should
Well-
be having that conversation.
Well, yeah. My thing is like I think Jaws had the better overall. But if we come back and they play 20 games and Zion blows Jaw out of the water the
He
next 20
has.
games, the next
He's
20
blown him
games-
out since he's came back, and he's put his team. The only time his team has been.
I know,
won
but
is
if you're
when he's
yeah,
back.
but a lot of
He's
people
beat John Morant.
could say that
He's
Jaw's gonna
going
have worse
crazy.
numbers just because he's been playing the whole year and the averages out. It's going to be a little bit less.
See, that doesn't
but
make
now
sense
that
to me
they, but
because
now that
Zion
they
came
both,
back from an injury.
well,
and
yeah,
he's
but now
dropping
they
the
both
most
have,
rookies
but now that
ever.
they both have had rest, and now they'll both be kind of on the same kilter. If Zion comes out the next 20 games and plays way better than Jaw, then he deserves it. But if Jaw comes out the next 20 games, plays a lot better, gets his team in the playoffs, and kicks the Pelicans out.
Well,
then I think he
the
deserves it.
Pelicans. They can't.
They're
keep
not
the
already in.
Pelicans out.
They're not already in, but if they can hold their
But
spot
they're close now.
and fight off the Pelicans, then
Yeah.
I think he deserves it. But beyond the point, the NBA texting all of their big name players. A lot of them are saying they want to come back. The only people I think that said they don't is like KD, and that's just because he's not going to play this year. There was one other big person that said they didn't really care and that they probably shouldn't. But I can't remember who it was, but they were talking more of just like safety for fans. It wasn't like they personally didn't want to come back.
Well,
It was
that
just
has
more
nothing
of
to
a-
do with the league still playing though. Like
Well,
they,
yeah.
they did UFC without anyone. You know what I mean? Like they could easily.
That's
do,
so weird.
Yeah,
They
they
have
could
UFC
easily
without-
do NBA without fans.
Oh, I think
You know
so
what I
too.
mean? You don't even have to have them.
Oh,
in
it
the
might have been
arenas.
Donovan Mitchell because he's still pissed off about Rudy Gobert. He's still mad at
Yeah,
Rudy Gobert.
dude, that team's gonna go kind of shit.
Yeah, dude.
The locker room is gonna go crazy
Yeah, Rudy,
about it.
dude, if he would have never gotten corona, that would have never happened. Like, it would have been fine. Like, it would have been a joke. Like, it would have been like, dude, don't make a joke about that. But it would have been fine. But the fact that he actually got corona and then
Dude,
actually
that's-
gave it to Donovan Mitchell.
That's the
like,
biggest
that's not
karma
funny.
I've seen.
That's not funny in the sense of, like, obviously, like,
Well, it's funny now
coronavirus
because
is
they
a big
lived.
deal. But,
But
like,
it's funny now because they lived. You know what I mean? Like
It's
they
funny
were
that-
fine. They didn't get too
Yeah.
sick. Like they're completely fine from the virus. So like it's funny now. But like if something happened to them, it would not. Have
yeah,
been
like, like if Donovan Mitchell's mom would have got it, and like if something would have happened similar to what happened to Cat's mom, unfortunately, like Donovan Mitchell would have went nuts, and I wouldn't have blamed him. But I really think the NBA should come back semi soon. I think that they should probably open up the facilities for a month, get the teams back to normal,
Yep.
and then right after that, go back into games, whether that's in front of people or whether that's not. I think they should play probably anywhere between 10 to 20 games. That way they can get back into the season. And then after that, they should just be like, okay, like, you guys time to do whatever you want to, time for playoffs and go crazy. I think they should shorten the playoffs. I think they should probably go back to the old system just for this year where it's like 3, 5, 7, 7 done.
I agree.
But that's what I think they should do personally. Obviously, the
I
NBA
agree.
wants to make a lot of money, and if people are going to pay, if the networks are going to pay them a crap ton of money to do 7 series, or 7-game series. Okay, like I'm completely fine with that. I've always said that I think the NBA playoffs is a little bit too long.
They said they don't think they're gonna delay the playoffs.
I don't think they will because that's too much money. Like that's the whole reason why the NFL.
Well,
added a whole
they're not gonna
playoff
make
game.
that much money from it because they're not gonna have fans there.
Well, yeah, they won't have fans there, but that's just more of an opportunity for the TV contracts. That's going to be way more money in TV contracts.
Yeah, but like they it's not going to be as big. Like I'm saying, like in the aspect of like they're not losing money. They're still losing money. You know what I mean? They're not making money at all because the TV contracts are still going to be there. They might be a little bit bigger.
Well, they'll be a little bit bigger, but like if you think about it, like
the ticket sales that they already lost.
But they don't have that many workers.
A lot of those,
like, it's all circumstantial.
Also, a lot of those tickets are already bought. Like a lot of those are season tickets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like,
I mean, you're losing
they probably refunded them though. They probably refunded them, but like my thing is like I think with the extra TV contracts and all that kind of stuff, I think they're gonna want to do all 7 games. I mean, I think every sports fan will want that, especially just because of how long sports have been gone, and now that it's back,
I need it back, especially the NBA. I need it.
Yeah, I need it back. I'm excited for the NFL season to start whenever it does. Obviously, it's a ways away anyways, but I'm excited for Cincinnati to see what happens. But I think the NBA should come back, and I think it should come. I think it'll probably come back within 2 months from now. So, but also to play off the NBA because we talk about the NBA a lot in the show.
A ton of NBA news.
The whole Zion controversy. And I'll let Michael take that over because he knows a little bit more about it than I do. But Zion is in a little bit of a pickle.
So I'm him, not necessarily him as much as Duke, but Zion. It still sucks anyway. So I'm a big Zion fan. I've been following Zion since he was probably even before high school, like seeing stuff.
You made a bet with your stepbrother that he was
when he was a sophomore in high school. Yeah, I made a $20 bet with my stepbrother that he was gonna be number one pick in the NBA when he was a sophomore. Like I'm a huge Zion fan.
And you got that.
And we all knew this was probably going on. It probably happens all the time. But Zion and his family, well, basically his family, because he wasn't old enough to do this at this point. Zion and his family basically were accepting payments, gifts, things like that when he was in high school to get kind of pushed towards going to Duke and probably getting stuff while he played at Duke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a $100 million lawsuit, and that would really suck because
that takes like all of his money away
for years in the NBA. So if he gets hurt or whatever, he never makes money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's like a big freaking deal. So,
but that just shows you a lot of what needs to change with it.
Well, also with Duke in general, like Duke's a very prestigious school, and
they're probably about to not be allowed to.
And Zion, I think, is going to be fine. From a lot of the stuff I've read, Zion does not have a lot of.
He probably has the money right now to pay for all that with all this.
Oh
yeah. He'll be fine.
But
it's gonna be a big hit.
Yeah, I don't think he has $100 million, but
maybe with his Air Jordan with the Gator. I think he has one with Gator.
No way, he has $100
with his rookie deal though. It depends because he's played almost a whole year, and then all of his signing bonuses, and then all the sponsorship he's got.
Yeah, but that's money to pay this.
And then yeah, I know
that's money to pay this.
I know.
This doesn't include his house payments. Yeah. Like all that goes out of it. You know what I mean?
But so I think
he might have made $100 million, but he doesn't have $100 million.
Probably has like $50 million.
Probably not.
If he's made $100, he
probably doesn't even have $50 million. He probably spent all the money he got from that initial contract with the signing bonus, all that. He probably spent that on a house for himself, his family. Well, like even if he doesn't pull a Shaq, he still needs do stuff for his family. I guarantee he did.
Yeah,
I guarantee he bought multiple nice cars. He bought a lot of jewelry. I guarantee he spent all that money.
I would buy
every NBA player spends their.
I would buy my parents a house. I would buy me a house. I would buy me a couple nice cars. But after I would at least save $1 million of that. At least, in my opinion. Some people go crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of going crazy. Saving $1 million's kind of going crazy.
Well, yeah, I'm saying that like an absolute fault. We just bought a $1,500 camera. You talk about spending money like crazy. Of course, I'm gonna
dropping it, baby. Dropping it. I'm not having nothing left. My whole first paycheck is going. I'm going to the Louis. I'm going to Rodeo. I'm hitting up everything. I'm buying everything. I'm going straight to the dealer.
This is why the first person
I'm calling up the real estate agent. I'm buying that. I'm buying everything. Hey, mom, new house right down the road, 20 minutes.
No, your mom wants
everything.
Boat. Your mom wants a boat, not a house.
Yeah, mom, here's the boat. That's what I'm doing with my first paycheck. Second paycheck, nobody else is getting anything. No one's getting anything after my first paycheck.
The first thing I'm spending my money on is Michael to get a financial advisor. That'll be like my gift to you. Okay, I'll be like, I'm paying for your financial advisor, and I'm gonna tell him what you're allowed to spend. Because you're not allowed to go.
I'm gonna pay him to shut up.
No. Alright. But the whole Zion thing going on with it, I feel bad for him. Obviously, like he's a very bright point in the NBA.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think all this stuff.
He's going to be the new face. I think.
I think this stuff happens all the times, and I think it just shows that the NCAA just needs to change. Like, obviously, he probably, like, him and his family shouldn't have taken all that money. It's against the rules, blah, blah, blah. But people have been doing it for years, not saying that if a bunch of people were robbing a store, that it makes it okay for you to do it. But it's a dumb rule. It's a dumb, in my opinion, it's a dumb rule. I think that,
I don't think it's a dumb rule. I think that's very schemy and sketchy, especially, like, in college. To be offering, you should not be able to offer players.
But I understand more of that. But if I'm talking about like if athletes should get paid.
Oh, athletes should get paid.
I think they should absolutely get paid, and I think they should be able to profit off of it. Because if you think about it, they get free tuition and stuff like that. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. But all the hours they put in afterwards and all the money that the university's making off of them, why shouldn't they get some money?
Well, here's what I say about this as well. Like if I'm like a just a random business major, right, and I got a full ride to go there, I'm putting in a ton of work too. You know
you're putting in,
and it's not like we don't make money from.
And
like,
your entire
those type
summer,
of people don't make.
Entire summer's all schoolwork.
Yeah,
because you have to make up for classes you're gonna miss. Like especially if you play basketball.
Well, no, I'm talking about if you're just a normal. I'm a normal business major and I got a full ride academically to go there.
Yeah.
Like, I might not be putting as much work into, like, basketball and stuff, but I'm putting a lot more work probably into school than those other kids are. I'm taking the hardest classes. And then there's way more of those kids that go to, like, the master's programs and stuff, and they put years and years of extra work in. You know what I mean? They don't go for 1 year.
I think when you were talking about that, like, when you get to certain, depending on how smart you are, they'll pay for you to get your master's degree. They'll pay.
Yeah, but, like, they're making them so much money afterwards, but they can get jobs. They have the time to get jobs.
They're not allowed to get jobs. That's the thing. They're
exactly. That's what I was about to say. The reason I side with the NBA is because they are not allowed to get jobs.
They're allowed to get jobs.
So even a kid who like makes money like on social media or doing something like that is doing something on the side. They can't make money doing stuff on the side.
Trevor Lawrence's coronavirus thing. They let him put it back up, but
it's like ridiculous. I don't think they should be paid for by the school to do stuff, but I think they should be allowed to get jobs and things like that. If they want to have 10 hours of a job, that's their right to do it. Yeah. So
22-42. But yeah, no, my entire thing with it is I think they're making I understand your premise on just because you've taken all these hard classes and everything like that. I understand that you put in all this time and all that effort.
No, I'm just saying that I see the other side of it. I don't agree fully. I can't agree fully because
my thing is you personally don't make you make the university money because you pay your they pay for your tuition, they get the tax benefits.
Not all of it, but I do have scholarships.
They get the tax benefits of having you as a student. They make a little bit of money off of you, but if you're the top dog on the NBA on their basketball team, with all the money that they make for the university and all of that kind of stuff, I think they deserve a little. They can sell that person's jersey crazy and make all I don't think they should get money for playing the game, but jersey sales, they should get a part of that. If you're gonna use your likeness,
I agree.
An NCAA, if they want to make a basketball game, if they're gonna use their likeness for anything, that's why I think they should get money for all of that. Anything else, okay, you kind of gotta do your own thing, be a college student. But if they're gonna sell your likeness, that's when I think they should.
Here's the other flip side of the coin that I do I understand is the academic students also are making money for the school when they leave. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
there's a ton of donations. Those kids are the ones that are doing well to improve the statistics of a place like Duke. You know what I mean? And they're making indirect money by just saying we have a good college because of the kids that have done well there. You know what I mean? So and they're getting donations from those people as well.
Oh yeah, no, they definitely make.
They reap benefits both ways. The only issue is even if the player doesn't have time to have a job, have time to at least. You need to allow them to do that because you can make a lot of money doing a side hustle or something like that. That you don't have to put all your effort into, especially if we're talking D3, D2 schools, stuff like that. They have a lot more time than
they have different rules depending on the division.
That's true, but I just still don't think they're allowed to.
Well, they're allowed to have jobs in their off season, but if you're playing college football, you don't really have.
You don't have an off season.
You have maybe a month off season, but in that month off season, you're still training. You're not doing something.
Yeah, so, and a lot of those kids still get. A lot of those kids get jobs. I know so many football players who have jobs and still do all their off-season stuff because they need to have a job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I wouldn't be able to go to college, and I have to go to online school so I can afford it anyways. And I have a full-time job. I'm like, obviously, if I had a full-time scholarship, that'd be different. But like a lot of those kids that play those sports, a lot of them don't have a lot of money from back home that their parents can't send them. Like my mom wouldn't have been able to do that, so I would have had to get a job to do that also. And if the school's not letting me get a job, then you can't play the
You
sport.
have to live on campus and can't do anything else.
Yeah, that's awful. Like I would never want to do that. But to get off all college stuff, to get more and not talk about basketball either. Actually, we'll talk a little bit about the NFL. I just thought this was kind of funny. The Bucks and the Patriots, obviously they're a rival because Tom Brady left the Patriots and went to the Bucks. They don't play a game at the same time until week 15. They don't play each other at all the entire year, unless if they make the Super Bowl because NFC versus AFC. But I just think it's really coincidental that they don't play until week 15 at the same time. I think that in the NFL is like, oh, that's just a coincidence, blah, blah, blah. But my thing is, they both play on the Eastern Seaboard. They both have home stadiums that would normally play at the slotted 1 p.m.
Yeah.
I was like, that's very coincidental that they don't have a game at the same time. Like if it was like the Chargers.
Either way, I don't care too much about it.
I don't care
you know
either.
what I
I
mean?
just think it's funny because like
I'd rather them not play at the same time because I do want to see them.
Well, yeah, but like that doesn't like.
They're doing that purposely to boost their ratings.
Like
you know what I mean?
Like the Chargers and the Bengals, I guarantee they're gonna have a couple games at the same time. They don't have any rivalry, and they're gonna have a couple games at the same time before Week 15. But the Patriots and the Bucks play on the same seaboard or in the same time zone. All of their normal games are always at 1 o'clock, and they don't play all at the same time. Like it'd be different if it was the Patriots and the Chargers, because they obviously like the Chargers games never start before 4:25 unless they travel. The Patriots games never start after 1 unless they travel or it's a primetime game. Yep. So I just thought it was funny. And I just think the NFL should just own up to it. I think,
yeah, why would I would be, oh, yeah, that's what we did. We want to increase the ratings.
They would be like, wow, the NFL's smart.
Yeah. You'd be like, oh, we would like you guys to watch games that we think you guys care about, so we didn't do this so you could see both teams.
Yeah.
Like, why would you not just... I mean, that makes me think it probably... There's a good chance it is coincidental as well, because, like, they probably would come out about it, because that's a really easy thing to come out about and be like, dude, we didn't do this for a bad way, we did this in a good way. That's true.
Roger Goodell's also a robot.
It's either
shut down.
the NFL is so stupid, they don't know how to explain that to their people, and it was not coincidental, or it was coincidental, and they're just like, we don't even care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's crazy. But no, I think that's going to wrap up the sports section. Obviously, just make sure that you guys are following on Instagram, TikTok, all the social medias. Keep them plugging, keep them going, send them to all your friends. TikTok will be popping off today.
Podcast up on iTunes tomorrow or whenever it gets approved. It's still not approved.
Yeah, so don't keep us condone on that, but just so you know, it's happening in the future. But
don't keep us what?
I don't know.
Condone on that?
I was trying to think of a word.
What the hell?
It didn't work. But thank you guys for watching. Peace. I couldn't think of the word.
We out.
I could not think of the word at all.